Hello and welcome. I am Jason Huls. I am the writer and director of The Fawn. I thought I would take a few minutes to sort of talk my way through the movie and describe some of what went into making it. So let's get into it. This vase that is smoking was actually from my old apartment about 20 years ago, and I got this when we redecorated. And to get that effect, I put some pavo tubes inside of it with the fire setting on and a fog machine. So it was a pretty easy, pretty effective way to get the smoking vase effect. And here we have our Fawn, actress Nora McCurdy. She is a really cool Chicago actress. She lives up in Chicago. She came down to central Illinois into the woods with us to make this. This whole location is where my friend Paul Brooks shot his found footage horror film, Hunting for the Hag. So we had pretty good access to this, and he and I talked about this other micro concept, and he was into it. So we kicked the idea around for a while and got a hold of Nora, and we were able to make it work. And we're back to our sort of ambiguous other location. I made this spellbook prop, and let's see, this voodoo doll here. I made that. I have behind the scenes videos about that if you ever want to look those up and see a little bit more detail. Here is my lovely wife, Erin Huls, the witch in the film. It's really cool to me because, you know, she helps out so much on these projects that I've done through the years, and you know, she's usually behind the camera, but now she gets to be in front of the camera and do something fun, like be an evil witch. So right here, these POV shots are completely different month and completely different location. And this stomping motion, from what I understand, is what a deer will do, one of its behaviors, if it thinks there is a predator around. The knife was made specifically for me. It was a friend's father made that as a gift, so it was really fun for me to be able to use it as a prop in a movie. This shot had lots of towers and all kinds of barns and stuff in it, but I wanted it to feel like that field went on forever. So you know, it was really cool to, you know, some of the best effects, I think, just sort of blend in. You know, you would never know unless you were told. And it creates a pretty interesting sense of environment, I think. She should probably go to the doctor. This is the first shot where I was trying to tell the audience that maybe we're in some sort of other place. Some sort of dream state or other world. Those towers back there were the same vase that the witch is hunched over. And also a fun fact about that shot was that there was a highway in the background, so I had to use the woods and the towers to cover all that stuff up. Ah, she got blood on my voodoo doll. So these thorns, I just love. There's giant knots of them growing out there. And I told Nora, just walk past it and I know I'll use the shot. Here we have the star statue. This is one of the things I saw out at the location that inspired the entire idea. I thought that just looks like something that a cult would gather around and worship in the woods. So that really was the first thing that got me thinking, okay, this whole place feels very folk horror, you know? So, and here, my son had accidentally knocked over our main vase and pieces of it had shattered off. So it's okay. I got to use cool shots like this with the broken pieces. So in the end, it worked out. So Logan, if you're listening to this, it's all good, buddy. So here we're coming up on another thing that inspired me, the deer head. So this was, again, obviously just at the location. And I'm walking around and I'm seeing the star statue, I'm seeing the deer head, and it all just sort of started to feel like a vibe. And it ended up leading to, oh my God, blood, never mind. That little statue wood carving was also done by a local artist. There's a connection here, you can see through the photos, between the fawn and the witch. Some hints at a deeper story. But what is it? What indeed? So this was a interesting sort of balcony built out in the woods. That close-up there was shot months later in my backyard on a 2x4 laying across 2 sawhorses. So a little bit of movie magic there, but I just loved that little spot. The close-up here, that effect was done with a heat gun on the photos. And here, the summoned creature, aka my longtime friend Chris Hudson, who I have worked on films with for many, many years, like our first film, Late Afternoon of the Living Dead, our zombie horror comedy. And he is there to collect his payment. Here's another piece of the shattered vase. Chilling out here, smoking in the woods. Yep, just go ahead and get right down there and peek into it. And I love what our composer, Ryan Aldrich, did with the score here. Actually, I love what he did with the whole score. And that mask was made specifically for the film. I found a guy on Etsy who made creature masks. So he did a really cool job, I think. So this next shot coming up here is a combination of things. Some of it's digital, but that planet spinning in the background there is actually a plastic globe I found at a hardware store with paper mache over it and a light put inside of it. And I put the whole thing on my product turntable and boom, you have a cosmic horror being. And our mama deer stares out into oblivion forever. What has become of her fawn? But there you have it. Thank you for taking this short trip with me. I hope you feel somewhat inspired to connect the dots I've laid out. It was a really fun movie to do and a really cool exercise for me in non-traditional storytelling. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you down the road.